I'm pretty
Let's
sure everyone
see.
heard me say, "Get her done."
I don't see you on the live.
You don't see me on the live.
No.
How about now? How about now? How about now?
There we are.
We're here. We're here. We're back.
Perfect. We're back.
So, before we were rudely interrupted by my somebody's internet, I'm not gonna point fingers. Oh shit, my finger's pointing at me. But we were talking about the one, the only John Cena, Mister Can't See Me,
Yeah,
and
we
you were
were.
getting into a hot topic of who you would consider for his final opponent. You said a gauntlet match with a lot of his old rivalries, and what else?
To see Super Cena one last time.
Oh man. Now I don't know how I would feel about Super Cena, which it would be dope. Don't get me wrong. Just because it's John Cena, and some people are already talking about let's see him as a heel. If
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't happened in 20 something years, I don't think it's gonna happen now, guys. Let's be
No, not
real.
for his last year. Nope.
It's been what 25, 26 years of Cena, something like that.
Something like that.
Well, not 25 because that'd be impossible. But like 20 years of Cena, I think that's what it was. And if it hasn't happened in 20 years, it's not gonna happen in his last year, like Soto said. So I would love to see like old rivalries, like you just said. Though I would love to see Edge probably come back to do a match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if his AEW contract allows him to. Obviously, the match that a lot of fans were already talking about, and I think me and you discussed a little bit, was him versus Orton, WrestleMania 41, which we never got a Mania match with them two. Do you
Yeah.
think WWE considers it because of how big it could be, especially for Cena's last run at WrestleMania? Or do you think they just not do that and to give us something else that they think we want?
I honestly think they'll probably go that route with Randy. I I'm still waiting for Cody versus Randy. I'm waiting for Randy to turn heel again, and I think giving him to Cena at WrestleMania would be the perfect chance for them to flip Randy, and then either we get Cody versus Randy at next SummerSlam or next WrestleMania.
The reason why I bring it up though is because obviously when another individual was getting ready to retire, Kurt Angle, they gave us a match we didn't want.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle.
Well, that was
No.
also under Vince.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of like you gave us like Kurt gave us how many years of professional wrestling? Not only in WWE but also in TNA wrestling. And then of course he was an Olympic gold medalist. He wrestled with a broken freaking neck. And for him
Mm-hmm.
to go out against somebody like Baron, which no disrespect to Baron, it's just that me personally, I didn't want to see that match. So hopefully, under the Triple H regime, they listen to the fans and they give us what we want. Orton
Well,
versus Cena.
Cena said that he's not going to be picking his opponents, so whatever he gets fed, he's gonna go. He's gonna be all in.
I can understand that doing like other events, along the way, but when it comes to Mania, they need to give us that. We
Yeah.
deserve that much, especially if we're gonna be bringing out the tissue and tearing up and doing "You Can't See Me" for one more time at WrestleMania. You know, not big on Cena, but obviously he is a big part of history in wrestling, so it would be dope to see that match. But I guess time will tell because he has what 30 something dates they've already confirmed for him on their list,
Yeah, I saw 30 to 40 days confirmed. So it'll be
which is
dope.
not bad considering it's
Yeah.
his last run, and he could just be one of those guys. I'm just going to give you 5 or 6 more matches, maybe a few appearances, and I'm done. He's already confirmed maybe 30 to 40 dates.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see for sure. But only time will tell what they give us and where they go from it. But that was not all that happened at Money in the Bank, even though it was a touchy moment for everybody because, we all posted videos on it. We
Absolutely,
obviously
man.
got a Money in the Bank card that looked good on paper, but probably didn't live up to the hype. I mean, I myself gave it a 7 out of 10.
The overall pay per view.
Yes.
Uh, I can agree with that. That's a good rating. It was definitely a C pay per view.
Yeah, I mean, I think the match that saved the card, really, in my opinion, I don't know about yours, because we haven't had a chance to discuss it really,
Hmm.
was the women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that was
And
a good match.
it was a shocking ending. And, a lot of stuff went through the match that we were all shocked about. For one, I'm just going to bring it up now before, we forget all about it. The Zoe Stark spots, like that spot with her and Io, I thought she broke her neck. I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't know about you. Like, what went through your head when she looked like she landed wrong almost?
Well, there was one spot beforehand, before that spot, where she jumps over and she completely misses whoever she jumps on, and lands on her head and hits her head first. That got to me first, and then the second one was the EO spot, going onto the ladder. That one looked like it hurt. So I thought Zoe got legitimately hurt in the head that night.
I mean, I did too. I was kind of scared for her. Obviously, you don't want to see anyone get injured in any way. Even if it was kind of planned for them to make it look like that, still
Hmm.
was a scary moment. And there was another spot. Looked like Zoe didn't land some of her spots either. One on the ladder, I think you just mentioned it, right? She did like a Samoan thing, like a Samoan drop. It looked like she
Hmm.
didn't land all the way, and she probably hurt her opponent. Did you catch that, or was it
I
just me?
did. I definitely caught it. Like I said, I saw those two spots, and I thought Zoe got really hurt that night. But
Yeah, because
I
it
didn't see
looked
any
like
reporting on it.
she landed on top of the head in the first spot, like
Hmm.
hit the tip of the ladder. Then later on, of course, that spot with EO. Those both look kind of, you know. We got a funny guy in the comments talking about, is this speed dating?
I saw that.
No, you don't have a chance with neither of us.
Oh
You want
man.
to be funny? I'll be funny back.
But that spot I had called it too when don't read the comments. I had called it too with the Chelsea Green spot. I was like, they're setting up the tables. I was like, Chelsea. I had called it right as Chelsea was going to it. I was like, she's gonna be the one to go through that table because she has the history of the extreme matches and all that. I was like, Chelsea's gonna take that table bump, and she did. She took the table bump. She took it like a pro. I had seen from a fan's perspective how she got up, and she had to play it off that she was hurt, but she was just fine.
Yeah. And I'm not shocked she did the spot. I'm not. I think a lot of other people were for obvious reasons because I don't think they had confidence in her to do those kind of things. Obviously, if you've seen her on the independent scene, you know what she's capable of. You yourself have seen her in Lucha Underground
Hmm.
because you used to watch that quite a bit, didn't you?
It did, especially when
And
Ray was on there.
so Ray was there. Mondo, what's his name? Mondo something. Johnny Mercury or John Morrison.
Oh,
Johnny
I
Mundo.
got
That
you.
was his name.
Johnny
Johnny
Mundo. Yeah,
Mundo.
yeah.
And then obviously Chavo, another great other competitors like that. I think Rhino was there for a little bit too, wasn't he? If I'm not
I don't
mistaken.
remember.
Don't remember fully, but quite a bit of guys. But obviously a lot of people that remember Chelsea from there. She had the mask on most of the time, but she came out of there. Prince Puma, like someone just
Hmm.
mentioned as well.
Hmm.
But when she set up the ladders, like you said, I kind of knew like that was probably where they were going with her or Tiffy going through that spot.
I didn't
And
see Tiffany. We both
oh
called
yeah,
Tiffany probably winning. So
we called her winning, but I didn't call Chelsea winning at all. I didn't think she was gonna get a pop, but she got the biggest pop of the night. People
Chelsea
were
was my
cheering
third
for her.
choice. Yeah, Chelsea was my third choice.
Chelsea's my fourth because I had Lyra, Io, or Tiffy. You had called Lyra
I
and
had
Tiffy, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I had called Tiffy, Lyra, and then
Well, I
Chelsea.
don't think we had a particular order. I mean, that was just the order. I just threw names out there of who I thought was going to win. But Tiffy was up there, even though they haven't been pushing her lately. They've pretty much just had her in the background with Naya.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. All the women did great, and I had really no complaints about it. Unless you ask like those fans that just want to complain about stuff like, oh, they botched this, they botched that. Like, who gives a shit? It was a good match.
I know what you do have to complain about though.
Oh my god. Just do it. Just let's rip the band-aid.
The Drew McIntyre winning the Money in the Bank just to lose it in the same night.
Oh man. I see why they did it. For storyline reasons, right?
Yeah.
The whole screw job from Punk in the, cash in made sense for stories to be built, especially to continue the story with Punk and Drew. Not Drew, but Punk and Seth as well as Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into Monday Night Raw and in a little bit about the other part with Damien, right? But they kind of disappointed us with them opening the night with the men's ladder match,
Right.
and it not being, you know, living up to the hype. Because
Yeah,
I
it felt like a
think
fast match.
it was a fast match. Nothing really exciting happened. I mean, there was a few spots that were okay, but overall, that match was probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen in Money in the Bank. Just
Damn.
when it comes to Money in the Bank, period, it's one of the worst ones.
Damn.
And it's honestly due to the fact that, you know, everyone kind of knew, hey, Drew's going to win. He's going to lose the cash in later on.
It was very
Which,
predictable.
yeah, which was total crap. And it's slap in the face of those guys that busted their ass off, to get in the qualifier matches and all that and to win. And Drew was the final entrant to that match. And once he got in, we both were kind of like, okay, there's only a few ways it's going to go down. Either Jay gets it or Drew gets it, and Drew's going to cash in that same night, and it's not going to be successful. You called this unsuccessful part.
Yeah, of course.
You yourself said it, but I said there's a chance he could win.
No, it
But
didn't
then
make
once we
sense.
saw Punk show up, we're like, all right, I think we see what just happened here. So,
They should have, and I had talked about this before the match itself. They should have had Punk cost Drew the Money in the Bank briefcase. Could have knocked him off the ladder, something, right?
they could have done that route. It would have saved face for another match that happened in the night, because we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the biggest thing was, yes, they could have helped elevate other stars like Future saying right there in the comments. Um, they could have helped build up a Jey Uso, who fans
Yeah,
want to see actually win the damn thing, right? To go on and
yeah.
cash in and have a successful run at a title. LA
Well,
Knight is
yeah.
another guy who you may not
Jay
agree with.
Jay made the most sense to be the champ. I mean, the Money in the Bank winner because it could have taken him back to SmackDown,
Yeah.
even if he. Uh I would have been okay with it. Let's just imagine for a second. Solo comes, he beats Cody Rhodes, right? 1, 2, 3, just like he did
Oh, yeah. We're going to
with
get
the
into that
bloodline.
later.
And then we see a cash in, and it's Jay. And Jay comes and pins Cody Rhodes again and takes the title.
Kind of
And
make it
that
like
would
a
have
triple
set up
threat.
a good storyline because everybody wants, the Usos and Roman to be back together, right? Again, this takes them back to SmackDown where Roman is, where Jimmy is, and they could have all been together, but Roman would have put his differences aside, right, to take down the bloodline. But he's not gonna be. It's not gonna be how the relationship was because now Jay is champion, and he wants that title back. So
Hmm.
they could have set their differences aside until they took care of the bloodline, and then they could have faced each other. There's so much they could have done with Jay.
You're right with all of that. Um, then the question would have came to, does he really challenge Cody or Solo for the title or jump into their match if that's where they're going? Because there's a lot that's going to go down with that match. We can talk about the whole thing another day, but they
Yeah.
could have done a lot of building with Jay just in the briefcase, and they could have had a whole year because he doesn't necessarily have to cash in this year.
True.
He would have had
True.
all the way until next July.
True.
And there's how many stops along the way? He could have pulled off another history making moment at Mania. Let's just say for some reason, we get repeat matches again, and or new matches, new champions, and all that. And Jay could have been one of the new champions.
Right.
But people are obviously gonna keep saying, what we all think as well as it's setting up for bloodline stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously some guys are like, oh, final boss versus Roman, which I don't really. I've said it many times that I don't think that match has to have a title involved at all. But that's just me. But they just dropped the ball with this whole thing. They didn't plan
I
out.
agree.
It didn't pan out how they thought it was. The payoff was not there at all
Mm-hmm.
because social media says everything for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset, and a lot of people were like, "Why? Just we don't
Right.
get why. What's the why behind this?" And obviously, like you said, it's obviously built up other stories. And what does the bad blood pay per view have to do with anything? You can do anything with that. I don't get that at all, but okay.
Let's just keep it going.
Um, yeah, that stuff right there is like, okay, that's one thing. It's not even that big of a deal. But but yeah, they have other plans, but like I said, the payoff wasn't there. And then obviously the moment with Drew being involved with the cash in obviously ruined a championship match. And you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good showing for Damian and Seth. They had a good matchup going.
Mm-hmm.
But the most obvious thing happened towards the end of that match because of this failed cash in.
Yeah, Damon retained. But beforehand, before Drew even came out, Seth should technically be World Heavyweight Champion again.
And that's where we're getting at. I don't know if this was Drew's fault. I don't know if this was somebody in production.
Probably the sound
The
guy.
the Q man to push the button. That
It
was
was
me
probably the
knocking up.
sound guy.
Yeah, the sound guy, whoever. Somebody failed here, dropped the ball big, and the most obvious thing happened, and that was Seth should be champion.
Yeah, I
So
would have. They could have played it off. They could have literally had Seth be champion, and then either had another title match the next night on Raw, and then had a title switch again just to give it back to Priest, or they could have
because
just gone in a different direction. But they should have kept the. They should have it as it was.
yeah,
I think Priest legitimately got knocked out.
I just I don't know about that last part, the knocked out, because if we look at the replay, which we don't have, but the replay clearly shows Damien looking up at the Titantron and at the ref.
Yeah.
So someone failed to hit the cue. And in history, from what we've learned from the WrestleMania documentaries and all that, refs are told to just count the three.
Yeah, I
So
mean, there's
I
been
don't,
mess ups before where they just have to pivot and call it as it is.
because I'm gonna call it, taker matches. Refs were always told, doesn't matter if it's taker. If there's a three, just count the three. And this was not a taker match. This was obviously a title match that was live.
It was partially a taker match.
Partially, if you want to call them what everyone else calls them, but you know, and yeah, that three count should have happened, and it didn't. It was sloppy, and that ref deserves to be fined or something.
Yeah.
because even though the Q man messed up, the sound guy, it's still the ref's job to keep the show going. And obviously, that 3 count should have happened. They could have done what you said. Seth celebrates, Drew try to cash in, and still play out the whole failed cash in. Then go on to the next night, and I don't know if they do it the next night though, because something else happened Monday that was even bigger, and we'll get into that in
Yeah.
a second. But we'll just talk about one more match on Money in the Bank because we'll got to move on to Monday Night Raw.
Is that the Sami Zayn match?
If you know what I mean, brother. Yeah, Sami Zayn. That guy.
Yeah.
I think they dropped the ball with that match as well. It was a good match. I liked the match.
Yeah, it
I'm
was a
not
good match.
complaining about the match overall. The ending is what gets me. You have hyped
Honestly,
up. No, my bad. What?
oh my bad. Well, I was saying honestly, I would have been cool with a squash match. I would have been cool with Braun just overpowering Sammy so much that he became champion within seconds, if not minutes.
And I think a lot of people were actually looking for that. If you want to be truthful,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he beat somebody saying it.
I saw
In
it.
the comments, haluva kick, and that's my sister at the bottom. The toma todo. Hi sis. But yeah, they should have done the squash match. That would have been more believable than Sammy walking out as champion.
Yeah,
And I think
I agree.
he pulled his weight in the back to get over because of Canada. That's just the truth for me. Hey, Sec. Thank you for the roses, sis. It's cool when I see my family in here. But yeah, I mean, again, like you just said, squash match, we would have all been cool with it. No one would have complained about it. We would have all moved on. They could have ran it back later, and that's it. I mean, really, there would have been no one would have said nothing. But I think he pulled I'm the veteran. Let me use my contract abilities to get over on this because we're in Canada.
I would have been cool with another Canada screw job.
If somebody would have gotten screwed over, that would have been cool. But yeah, but other
Yeah,
than that, I think that match could have gone another way, and they dropped the ball with that one too.
yeah. It seems like the whole pay per view could have changed up a couple more excitement,
Yeah,
but it is what
definitely.
it is. It's what we got.
Yep. So Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night
Do
Raw.
we want to? I'm gonna let you start this topic right here.
Well, how about we talk about Uncle Howdy? We got another tape.
Another tape, another VHS, which I don't know if you saw it on your live, but I saw it on my live. I mean, people already, some people, not everyone, are like, this needs to hurry up.
No, I've already talked to you about it. They don't
We,
need to have him wrestle right away. He's doing. Let him work. You know what I mean? Let him do his tapes. Let him do his segments. I already said that I want to see a tape on every single character. I want a breakdown of every character. I want to fall in love with every character. You know what I mean? Just like the movies, we story to characters that we will soon love and have history about. That way, if there's ever a downfall, we're more attached to that character.
exactly. And I think we started seeing glimpses of this new tape because
Hmm.
they started showing the mask and a little bit of the actual person behind the mask.
I loved it.
And me personally, I'm with you. Let it build up slow. Let the let them cook. You know, I grew up in a Mexican household. A lot of our recipes are low and slow. Let this cook low and slow. Like, why do y'all need to rush it? No one needs to rush this at all. Like, everyone tried to rush the bloodline storyline, the Roman Reigns stuff, and now look where we're at. Those same people are like, we want Roman. We want him back. Like, those are the same people I sit there. I'm like, I don't want to hear you talk. You said the same thing about that, and look where you now.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're treating this like different than Bray. because they're not doing the Firefly Funhouse. They're not trying to be the Fiend. They're not trying to be Bray character at all.
And
It seems like a couple of these segments have taken place in the Firefly Funhouse, but in a dark, room with the lights off, and
and
and that's cool. It can be on the set. I just don't want them to do, a Firefly Funhouse segment.
exactly. I think they are trying to keep the story within what Bray would have visioned for it, but also trying to separate it from where they had taken Bray's character with the Fiend and all that, and the
Hmm.
paranormal stuff. I think this time around we're getting more of the, we're still getting like a darker image of it, but we're also getting like more of a reality, like a tortured soul kind of thing, you know?
Hmm.
Because what Bray, I mean not Bray, Taylor Rotunda is what, a tortured soul right now because of what happened with his brother and all that, and he's going slowly into the details of why he's there and what's going to happen because he's there.
Mm.
And of course, he's talking about all these other lost souls, that got lost in the shuffle or whatever. And I'm loving it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm loving that kind of part of the story. Like they're not gonna make it a goofy paranormal thing. They're gonna make it more reality stuff.
Right.
And you know, I just want to see where it goes from there. I'm in no rush. Like I want
Me
them to
too.
take their time. They just need to milk it as much as they can because if they rush it, then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, they rushed it. It sucked," even though they're the ones wanting it to rush.
So that leaves us with Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, with no mask on, sitting in the office in that Raw. What are your thoughts?
I loved it because the whole Chad Gable aspect of it, they had messed with him in the ring. They had messed with him previous Mondays. They did what they did when they debuted. The fact that he was this close of walking into that office and who was sitting there? Taylor. I
Hmm.
think that would have gotten, you know, over very well. And I'm just curious of what that conversation was about. Because,
Probably a match. We're probably seeing him at SummerSlam.
maybe him versus Gable, who knows? But, you know, Adam Pierce had his hands full. And the last thing he probably wanted to see was Taylor sitting on in his, sofa or chair, whatever it was, you know, like, oh crap, what's happening here? Like, I don't want to go in there. Oh, so you're going to a show tomorrow? Nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No, it says, "Are you going to show tomorrow night?"
Oh, I thought if you're going to a show tomorrow night. Oh, I thought you were going.
No.
Oh, one of us is. One of us is showing it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were too.
Nah, Friday nights is hard for me. You
It's
hear
all
me,
good.
guys? I may not be able to show it, so don't inbox me if I'm showing it.
I should be on.
Nah, Soto got you tomorrow night. He's actually been holding it down every Monday and Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we could always rotate too.
Oh,
If
yeah.
we
You
can't do
got
it the same
Fridays,
day.
bro. You got Fridays. I have to close.
Sounds good.
It's a manager thing, but we'll get into that another day. But
You could always post beforehand and send them my way for Fridays too. If you're not gonna show it,
oh yeah, that's what I do. I'll do that for you, bro. I'll do that.
sounds good. Sounds good. I
But
need a piece of your 15K.
the we're gonna talk about a lot of that stuff here in a little while, Caesar. Right now we're on Raw, and then we'll go into SmackDown. But I just mentioned Adam Pierce having his hands full,
Yeah.
and one of the big things that happened at Money in the Bank that we didn't really go over
Hmm.
was this Drew situation. The whole, Drew being, he was mad. Let's just be real. He was mad, mad.
Go over it.
Oh, I was reading that comment. But he was
Me
mad,
too.
mad. He over here swinging on people. He popped, Adam Pierce in the face. Wade Barrett got involved. And, Drew got fined, suspended indefinitely. Wade Barrett got fined, and then Drew took to X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and got fined again. Like, okay. I'm reading comments and like, what?
Me too.
Oh, like, I'm not, like, this is the part of the week where we don't really go over the comments as much. I don't read off that.
Yeah, we're trying to
And
recap
we're
and our
recapping
thoughts
right
on
now.
a couple of different things.
And I think
If
I've
we,
answered your question today. I mean, I've answered who has the better spear already. Like, I already said it. I'm not going to go over it again. But, anyways, Kingslayer, who that be? They're taking
let's
a
keep
break.
it going.
I got you. But yeah, so double fined, suspended, and he's coming back next Monday. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because, I'm just like, what was the point of suspending him and bringing him back a week later?
What was the point of him saying I quit and then showing up, to Smackdown in Chicago?
That was different. We already knew he was going to go get Punk.
Yeah.
This was just like, he swung on people. He was mad. He was going to probably tear up the whole set if you let him.
Yeah.
He was going to go, all out for that segment. No pun intended, guys. But, I think what they're doing is they're obviously setting something up. Because what was Pierce saying to Punk? Go home, recover, heal, don't show up. Because when you show up, stuff goes down. And you're always involved with that.
Well, they're setting up SummerSlam. I mean, obviously we're getting Drew and CM Punk at SummerSlam, obviously in a non-title match.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're going. And that's another storyline that I'm enjoying right now because it's just cooking slowly. Obviously, because of someone's injured and he hasn't fully been cleared yet. But the biggest reason is, it just needs to cook. Both these guys are actually bringing more of their personalities out. Because I never knew Drew was a big time social media guy. I didn't think he tweeted and all that. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that would. But the fact that he's just trolling people on social media now, it's pretty funny.
Could you imagine? That's actually a good concept with Seth Rollins being guest ref for the Drew and CM Punk match.
That would be a good concept.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously, speaking of Seth, not only being a referee, but is he a future opponent for CM Punk? Because Seth feels some kind of way.
Yeah. He cost him the title again in some capacity.
And he almost cost him a permanent no title rematch as long as Damien's champ.
Right.
But I think Monday they kind of, mentioned the 3 count or the bad 2 count without actually mentioning it. Because, Seth obviously said, we both know I won that match.
Yeah.
And I should have won that match. And I think that was their way of mentioning that bad count.
Yeah, well, he already gave him another title shot after he goes after Gunther. So, yeah, I'm 50-50 now on if Gunther's going to win or not at SummerSlam.
Oh, man, that's...
especially with Bash at Berlin coming up at the end of August.
I mean, they could have him win.
Mm-hmm.
Go in as champion, defend it, maybe successfully defend, or they have him lose SummerSlam due to controversy and have him go into Berlin and win.
Right.
Which, either way, I want to see a Gunther winning a heavyweight title.
Me too.
Because he did, I don't care what any of y'all say. He held the IC title and he made it relevant again.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. He truthfully made that title relevant. Right now, the IC title is not as relevant because obvious reasons. I mean, nothing against Sammy, but he's not really pushing it like Gunther was. Because when you
Yeah.
fought Gunther, it's like, holy crap, you're going against Gunther. Like, if you make it through that match, bro, you're the best. But now it's like, okay, you're going against Sammy, the underdog, and it doesn't have the same ump to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know.
but we're going to see some great stories just from this World Heavyweight title picture.
Yeah,
Because,
there's a lot of champions that I want to see as world champion.
there's a lot of matchups I want to see. And it doesn't even have to just evolve around Gunther or Damien. Obviously, you got Drew, you got Punk, you got Rollins, you got Jay, uh, all these guys.
Yeah, I wish
So,
Jay had a singles titles run um, before getting back with the Bloodline, because I know everybody's talking about Jimmy coming back tomorrow.
speaking of comebacks, though, before we get into that comeback,
Yeah,
say it for the people one time.
mommy's back.
Mommy's back. And
Mommy's
what
back.
did I tell you was going to happen when Mommy came back?
He's gonna give him that hawk tua and spit on that thing.
Shit, I wouldn't mind it. You said it. You said it. I was just like, all right, I'm going to go with it. Shoot my shot. If you're listening, Rhea. Sorry, buddy, whatever your name is. But
Man.
no, I mean, we obviously knew the story with Dom, Liv. They've been carrying it. It's been relevant. I don't care what people say. It's been one of the top, stories on Monday Night Raw because it got us talking every week. And it's about the inevitable. When's Mommy coming back?
Yeah, can you
And
imagine being Dom and then having to go home to your wife and explain that your girlfriend caught you with your side chick on TV?
well, actually, it's like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? Your girlfriend caught you with your side chick, and you got to explain it all to your wife.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that does make sense. But I would be more afraid of explaining it to the girlfriend than the wife. Because my girlfriend, if it's, Rhea, I'd be worried what she was saying to him in the ring. Because you can just tell she was big mad. And I had told you before, when she comes back, she's going to be hella mad. She's going to be mad. And
So the
Dom,
question,
what's up?
no, the question is, are we gonna get a custody of Dom match part 2 at SummerSlam?
I think the loser should take custody of Dom. But all I know is, like Wiccan just said, it wasn't me. But I wish it was me. But
Yeah, it was a good surprise. We had all speculations. I mean, they kept hinting at it all night. Damian Priest was on the phone.
but
He was ready for the drama.
I think I had mentioned though, like, what if it had been Dom's real wife? Like,
But
just for
it
for
doesn't.
giggles. That, I mean, doesn't make sense, but that'd been funny. But
I mean,
I'm glad it was not.
we've seen her on TV before. She was at WrestleMania, 39.
When Dom versus
Hold
Ray
on.
happened.
No, that was WrestleMania.
That
Right,
was
it was
39.
WrestleMania 39. Yeah,
It was Hollywood.
she was front row. She was sitting next to
Her mother-in-law.
the mother-in-law, and her sister-in-law.
But
Because we
obviously
know
they
those two.
kept her away from like the actual scene. She was just like
No,
coming
she
to the
was
side.
sitting right next to them.
No, they
Yeah,
were, but they didn't really put the camera on her. It was focused on
yeah,
Aaliyah and the mom, obviously. Nancy,
yeah.
right?
Angie.
Nancy, whatever. But
But yeah,
but
we've seen her
yeah,
on TV before.
yeah, we've seen her, and obviously their wedding photos on TikTok and social media and all that.
Hmm.
But yeah, Dom's a lucky man. His wife
Mommy's
is.
back, man.
Mommy's back, and he's screwed there. He still got to live if that doesn't work out. but but yeah, I mean, obviously that storyline is gonna unfold next Monday night, and I can't wait for that to happen. What's up, Jason Bruce? Jason Bruce is
Yeah.
actually one of the wrestlers from Sunday's event I went to.
Oh, that's dope. What's up, Jason?
And then
I just commented back.
yeah, but there was another guy in here, Matt DeLuna. He was also one of the wrestlers there as well. He's at the very top from when we first started. But yeah, but But definitely, I can't wait till Monday. I just need to know, like, Los Mujeres Un Camino looking stuff, right, going on.
Well, I sent you the clip with Eddie in China. Where Eddie messed up,
Bro, I'm going to lose
and
it if he shows up with roses.
yeah, and he brought roses, and then China just hits him with the roses and throws it away, and then
I think I'd be
you
more
know.
afraid of getting hit with the right hand than the roses, to be
I think that's what
honest.
they're gonna end up doing, though. I think he's gonna be on this little apology tour or whatever with Rhea, and honestly, I don't think she should accept the apology. If anything, I could see them doing, kind of like a winner takes Dom match, and they go through the whole match, right? And finally, when it's time for Rhea to climb the ladder and win, or whatever the case may be,
She gets the belt
she
over her.
doesn't. She doesn't. She walks away, and Liv takes it.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's good.
Right?
Or what if they have like the title and Dom up there, like custody of Dom, and she just grabs the title, doesn't even go for the Dom one.
Hmm. So they put both up there.
I mean, obviously they're gonna do a
Okay.
ladder match. Might as well put the title up there. Winner gets all kind of thing, but she only takes the belt and just like you can have him, walks
Yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I mean that's how it's gonna play out. Mommy's gonna just be like, man, forget him.
Yeah. Or she just doesn't care about either and walks away.
Or do we see a Finn Balor turn?
Finn Balor turn how?
Judgment Day's been kind of siding a little bit towards the Liv Morgan thing.
Yeah.
You know, Finn's been giving people those looks. So it's like, do we go? Do we see Judgment Day go for a turn and go with Liv, or do they go back with Mommy?
Right.
I guess we'll have to wait for Monday
Well,
because now we have to actually go into something else that's people are asking about in the comments,
go ahead.
and that is
SmackDown.
Friday Night Smackdown, Smackdown Live, whatever you want to call it, but it's
Friday
Smack It
Night SmackDown.
Down,
That's right. I
which
have the card here.
exactly, my guy. This is why we are coasting. uh, but what do we got tomorrow night on SmackDown, my boy? Let us know.
Yeah, I'll do a quick wrap up because we are wrapping up the show. So SmackDown tomorrow. I will be live here on my page, Soto619, if you want to watch with me. George is unfortunately unable to do so, and that's all right. We trade off sometimes. But we have Michin versus Nia Jax, which should be
We already
an
know.
interesting one. Yeah,
I'll be
probably Nia
surprised if
Jax.
Michin gets the win.
I think
Because
Nia Jax.
if
is
you've been
definitely gonna
watching
take that one.
NXT with Michin, they're actually developing her into a bigger character over there. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if they actually play it out with her getting a dub on Nia.
Probably not.
You never know. But you never know.
They can't because Nia's going for the women's world title, the
But when has
WWE
that
title.
stopped them before to give the
No,
number one
Nia's
contender?
winning. Either Nia's winning or it's gonna end at a DQ. That's how it's gonna go.
I would rather go for the
Um,
DQ.
and then you were talking about him earlier. So we have Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews versus Angel and Berto.
When did that become a thing?
I don't know. Just came out.
Baron Corbin?
And Apollo Crews.
I've seen the segments with them in the past 2 weeks. Very odd.
Very
It's a
odd.
very
Yeah,
odd mix-up right
that's a
there.
that almost seems like a pee break match, but we'll see.
I don't know because Corbin, obviously he can put on good matches. He was doing really well in NXT,
Yeah, with Braun Breaker.
and then they separated that. So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. I
Yeah.
guess. Mm-hmm.
And then we have the women's Money in the Bank winner, Tiffany Stratton. She's going to be appearing live.
Tiffy
So,
time.
yeah, it'll be Tiffy time. Probably just a segment. Well, it might either be after or before the Nia Jax match.
So we didn't really touch base on Tiffy time and Nia. Obviously, Nia's
Yeah.
going for the title at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffy and her are friends. They're all over social
Mm-hmm.
media, specifically here on TikTok. And do we see a cash in at SummerSlam?
I think it'd be
Because
cool
I
to cash
mean,
in on her friend.
let's be real. Nia's gonna wear out Bailey.
Yeah.
So if Bailey somehow wins, she's gonna be crawling out of the ring, not walking out like normal. Like she's gonna be barely standing.
I can see that.
And then of
Yeah.
course Nia won't have no choice but to step to the side if that's really her friend.
True.
Just
I can see
just
that.
just speculation here, guys. I'm just throwing it out there. Like no
Yeah.
one's like I've seen people talk about it, but they've never gone into too much detail about this.
Yeah, it's either gonna be Tiffy beating Naya or Tiffy beating Bailey. But I think they should put the title on Naya and then let her run with it for a little bit. Because I still want to see Naya and Tiffany go for the women's tag titles. Because I think they would be a dominant team and one that could actually take on, Bianca and Jade to get to those titles.
So I have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
With the only briefcase we got left, let's be real. Is this solely for the brand they're on? Or is it any champion again?
Probably any champion.
Because just hear me out.
Yeah.
Another good opportunity is if they do, the Dom on the pole or ladder match, or whatever, with the women's title up there as well. Does Tiffy Time cash in on a moment like that as well? Possibly.
Possibly. I don't see it though. I see them
I
more
don't see her
so
taking
looking for
Dom. I
the
think she'll just go for the title. So
because
y'all
they'll
can
be too
have that.
distracted.
Y'all can
Yeah.
have that. Y'all can fight over him. I'm getting the belt.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, maybe. Just
I just don't
throwing it
see
out.
them moving her to SmackDown.
Raw.
Oh, you're right. Raw. I don't see them moving her to Raw. My bad.
It's possible though. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. She is on fire right now. I mean, even though they slowed it down for a minute, it's picking right back up where it left off. So we could possibly see that in the future. I don't know if it's with the cash in though. But
A lot of possibilities.
she's making her appearance with the briefcase.
Mm-hmm. And
What else?
lastly, this is to end off the night. We have the head of the table, Solo Sikoa, to continue his rise to power after pinning the undisputed WWE Champion American Nightmare Cody Rhodes at Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna touch base on this match because
Yeah,
we
go
didn't
ahead.
do it. It went exactly how I said it should go down. People are
Mm-hmm.
gonna be mad of what I'm gonna say,
Go ahead.
but it's exactly what we had discussed last week. That
Mm-hmm.
Solo and Bloodline 2.0 or Timu Bloodline, whatever you want to call them, they needed to walk out winning that match. I didn't see him pinning Cody. I said he could pin Randy or KO.
That's
I,
what I thought was
I,
going to happen.
I did say that, if you remember that conversation.
Yeah,
I
I
never
agreed
said
with
he had
that
to
one.
pin Cody because he doesn't have to. But I think they made it more real, more personal now that Solo got a win over Cody.
Well,
Which,
think about it like this, too. When Roman was fighting in a tag match, you know, was it Jay? Jay that pinned Roman,
yep,
when nobody else
had
had
pinned
for a
him.
while. Yeah.
It had been what,
And
three years before he got pinned?
I think in a tag match, it's not as bad just because we've seen it with Roman. As a singles competitor, Cody is still going to be there to
Oh yeah, but I just think it
put up a
puts
fight.
more on the storyline because it's
Yeah,
showing the
absolutely.
shows the dominance of the bloodline.
Hmm.
Not necessarily like Cody's gonna win the title or Solo's gonna win the title next week. It's more of a they needed to be dominant, and who better to pin than the champion at the moment,
Yeah. Plus,
even if it's a
plus,
tag match, right?
plus, it gives leverage for Solo when Roman comes back. Like, I pinned the champion. I did something that you couldn't do at WrestleMania.
I beat Cody.
Hmm.
And then Roman could just try to throw in, well, I beat him last time. Like, well, that was last time. This is this time.
Yeah. And
It's
and
like, it doesn't
losing has
matter what you
consequences.
losing has consequences, and you lost the title. You lost being tribal chief. You lost being head of the table. Now I'm that guy, and then of course it sets up whatever happens with that. Okay, but you know, I just this story is just getting better and better every week, in my opinion.
Hmm.
A lot of people, just like the Y6 story, they want it to be rushed. They're wanting Roman to come back for some reason. Like, Roman has a lot going on with his career in Hollywood,
Hmm.
wrapping up movies. He's about to do his, promoting for that. And then, of course, his father passed away. So I think they're doing well without him right now, of not being there. And Solo's cooking. Let's be real. Solo has really stepped up, and he's stepping out of the shell that he was in when he was just the enforcer. That's my
Still,
opinion on that. I don't know how you feel.
still, I still can't take him serious as the head of the table.
I
So
don't take him serious as head of the table either.
yeah. So.
I mean, where he's at right now, actually talking more and taking on that role to fill
Hmm.
in, obviously, for the missing, for Jimmy missing, for Paul Heyman not being there no more right now, and obviously for Roman not being involved, and then Jay's on Monday Night Raw. He's really stepping up, and then obviously he got the new bloodline with him, which, you got Jacob Fatu, Tungaloa, and Tamatonga.
Hmm.
I mean, can you ask for a better squad to be with you? I mean, obviously everyone's gonna keep saying, "What about
Zilla.
Zilla?"
Yeah.
Let it that let that go slow, guys. There's no rush for Zilla to be there. I mean, we don't even know what he's gonna be there for yet. Like right now, we barely got Jacob Fatu.
Well, I saw a good concept because everybody knows that Zilla is the son of Umaga,
Yeah.
and which is Umaga was the brother of Roman Reigns.
No,
No?
Rosie was his brother. Was Roman Reigns' brother.
Yeah, did I
Umaga
not say that?
is the brother of Rikishi,
Rakishi. Got you.
which is the uncles of the Usos.
Got you. Got you. So then that would legitimately make Zilla
His Zilla's
eligible.
Umaga's son. Yes.
Right, right. But that would make him also eligible to be the head of the table, the
Yeah.
tribal chief.
Yep. And I mean, I think Jacob Fatu is also someone's son that's related to them as well. Obviously, just can't remember who exactly, but I know Haku is the father of. Is it Tamatonga and
I'm not
Tangaloa?
sure. I'm not
Like
sure, but
this
what I was
story
trying to
just
get
got. Like
at.
we discussed some of this last week. We discussed
Yeah.
the 30, 40 years of the Samoan dynasty's already intact. We're stuck right now of like whose son is he, whose brother. But just to answer
From
your
what I
question, just to answer your
from what I
question,
saw. Go
do you
ahead.
remember Rosie from Hurricane Helms?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's Roman Reigns' brother.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, going back to it, I saw a theory that
Yeah.
Zilla could do like Killmonger from the Black Panther, and go for the throne and say,
I mean,
I could be the tribal chief. It's part of my bloodline.
Jacob Fatu could as well. And I think a lot
Hmm.
of fans rushing the story again want to see that. And
We'll get there. We'll
or
get there.
Zilla. I mean, even Jimmy and Jay can go for it, but I think Jay's more concerned about getting gold than being a tribal chief.
Yeah.
Jimmy's gonna be more about getting his revenge on Solo and Tomatonga. And I'm hearing a lot of rumors, since we're talking about Jimmy right now for a moment. A lot of rumors saying he's coming back very soon. How soon? I don't know. Everyone
We'll
said last
see.
week, and then everybody's now saying this week.
We'll see. He just got cleared. So Jimmy just got cleared. We'll
Yeah.
see him very soon.
So my thing is, like you just said, we'll see him soon. What's the rush? Like, I still don't get it. Everyone wants all this stuff to rush. I'm like, let it just take our time.
It'll be good nonetheless.
It will be
So
good. Because if we get this civil war between the bloodlines, that's even better. Um, and obviously tomorrow night we're gonna see Solo cut the promo, and I think we will see Cody show up. I think KO's taking time off. You said before we started because his mother is not doing so hot right now. He
right,
discussed it on Friday Night Smackdown last week in Canada, and
Money in the Bank.
hopefully all is well with KO and his family. Um, but that's gonna be a big piece missing tomorrow, KO. But we'll still have Cody and Randy, but I think they're in trouble if they show up. Let's be real. Cody can't just show up every week with the bat and all that, taking out 4 very large Samoans. Like, I don't in real life, man, that wouldn't go so hot with them. I think you'd be on the ground quickly.
Well, other than that, that's pretty much all we have for SmackDown, and we've recapped Raw and Money in the Bank. So
But I want to
it'll be
recap one
exciting,
more.
man.
I want to recap
Go
one
ahead.
more thing with you before we end this, because
Go ahead.
I got you for 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Do you believe?
I believe. I
And
believe.
or do you believe in Joe Hendry?
I believe
You
in Joe
believe
Hendry.
he was there, NXT
It was.
main event.
It was. We don't really cover NXT too much, so
But we cover it for you when you have your boy Joe Hendry there. Because I do watch NXT. Do I watch it faithfully like Raw and SmackDown? Not as much, but I do watch. Because I'm very interested and very invested in this whole TNA WWE crossover.
right.
And one of the things that happened this week was obviously whoop that Trick Williams. And do you believe in Joe Hendry? Joe Hendry himself, tag team against Ethan Page, who's the newly crowned NXT champion, and Sean Spears. And obviously they were victorious. But, I mean, how excited are you to finally see Joe Hendry making more moves in WWE? Because
Yeah, I
Heat
mean,
Wave was this past weekend as well.
I'm excited to see what he has to offer, what he's gonna do. Obviously he's not completely signed to WWE, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm skeptical on him winning the title. Maybe put the tag titles on him or something, so that way he could carry it over to TNA. But we'll see how it plays out.
It's interesting that he's there though, and he's going into main events with world champions in NXT, because he himself is going for a world title, I believe, at Slammiversary, and I don't know. I think he has a chance of winning, especially
Yeah,
with how over he is, and not just TNA, but pretty much almost the world right now, because everyone's singing that song. Don't
yeah. I
sing it
mean,
solo, please. Don't sing
I
it.
think we'll see him at Royal Rumble still. I think it'd be dope to see him at Royal Rumble on a
Yeah,
bigger scale.
I believe so too. I do believe we will see Mr. Joe Hendry at more events in WWE, NXT, and I do believe he will possibly winning titles. Not maybe not in NXT right away, but maybe in TNA, because the guy deserves it. Just to be clear.
Hmm.
And no, guys, he's not signed to WWE. We looked it up before the show, and we confirmed he is not signed. He's just on their, I guess, alumni page or something like that. Or
He's on
there's
the
just
active roster page. There's
he's
just a
just not
picture of
on.
him.
It's not him though. He's not on the active roster. Even though they have been teasing him in commercials a lot. At the end
Yeah.
of Heatwave, he was there at the end. And then in all the NXT stuff on Monday night, they kept showing his face. So this might be a sign of things to come. But you know who I did hear is possibly signed with WWE? I don't know
Who?
if you know them, because I don't know how much you get involved with TNA. But Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and I can't remember the other guy, but they're a really good tag team in TNA, and if they're coming to WWE, that's going to be pretty dope.
Haven't seen them at all, so I'll have to look into them.
Oh, Chris Sabin, that's his name. I just remember Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Go look them up, bro. You're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
give it a shot.
and like back in the day, they helped create the X division and did wonders for the tag team division. Both have gone on to win world titles and done other things, but if they're coming to WWE, I think that's going to help out the tag team division in a big way. So that's
All
other
right,
stuff
guys.
that's happening. But
I gotta head out.
Soto is heading out. Look at him. Look at him. Always heading out on me. But now we are going to wrap it up. Uh, Sunday or no?
Sunday, I'll let you know because I'm
He'll let
working,
us
so I'll
know
let you
because
know.
we are trying to do more than one show a week.
Mm-hmm.
But you will for sure catch us again next Thursday night. Hopefully a little earlier than today. You know, we had some minor setbacks, but we figured it out. And
Yeah, it's all
hopefully,
good. Little by little, we're getting there.
yeah, that is definitely happening. We're having I don't remember having Austin Aries. I can't tell you. But yeah, this was it for today. We'll be recapping more next Thursday. He will be live tomorrow night for Smackdown. And right now, my time on Monday Night Raw is questionable. I will let everyone know, but follow Soto619. Same name across the board. You can also go follow us or follow me here on TikTok, Twitch, same name, and Instagram. And the new YouTube channel has been renamed to Soto619 versus WTP. Hope he's happy. His name was first. He was like, my name's first because it's alphabetical order. But all
All
right,
right,
man.
guys.
I'll see
You have a good
everyone next
night.
time.
Appreciate you all. Thank you, guys.